Hello there. Welcome to Just the Dis. We talk about Blu-rays here. My name is Brian, and today we are talking about Fast Times. Amy Heckerling's film from 1982, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know, I think pretty universally recognized as one of the great high school films of all time, with an incredible ensemble cast, a really solid soundtrack, and just an overall sensitivity to teenagers of the time and what they were really going through. Of course, the film is based on the book by Cameron Crowe. He wrote the screenplay, and the book itself is based on research he did within some real high schools in California. And so these characters in the film, the Jeff Spicolis, the Mike Damones and the Rats and the Stacys, are all kind of based in some ways around real people or amalgamations of real people. And yeah, it's just a really great high school movie, from the very opening scene, which is one of my favorite openings of a movie, where you have the Go-Go's "We Got the Beat" playing as Damone walks into the Sherman Oaks Galleria, the mall that used to be the Galleria. And, we get to see the sort of goings on in the mall, and it was sort of, I don't know if it was Amy Heckerling's idea, but it was partially inspired by her sort of process to use the mall as sort of a jumping off point. That's where everything's happening. The kids work at the mall, and it's another great film where we have kids with jobs. The Rat works at the movie theater. Stacy works at a pizza place. Damone has his own work. He's a ticket scalper, though he hates that term. And so they all kind of have jobs, and they're working. Brad works at All American Burger for a little while. That's, of course, Judge Reinhold's character. But yeah, the cast. You have your Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates, Sean Penn. Is it Robert Romanus? Yeah, Robert Romanus, Ray Walston, Brian Backer. Just a really incredible ensemble. Forrest Whitaker. And yeah, so it's a story of these kids at Ridgemont High. Oh, I was talking about the beginning. I love the Go-Go's, the beat of "We Got the Beat." And there's one particular shot where Damone walks into a glass elevator, and with the camera, we sort of follow him in, and we sit with him in the elevator. There is a cut away from it, but then we sort of walk out of the elevator with him, and it's a great beat breakdown in the song "We Got the Beat," where the drums are just, and it's just a really great moment. Like the music is almost pausing to say, okay, we're riding up in the elevator now, and then we're going to come out and get back into it and see them all again. But yeah, it's just a really great movie. You have Brian Backer's character, the Rat, is very interested in Stacy, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who's a younger girl. She's the younger sister of Brad, played by Judge Reinhold, and she is going to high school now for the first time, but starting to get involved with men and become sexually active, and that's proving to be troubling, problematic. But so you have Mike Damone as the Rat's best friend, I guess, giving him potentially not great romantic advice. And then you have Phoebe Cates whispering in the ear of the Stacy character, giving her also maybe not, not to say it's bad advice, but it's maybe not advice that works as well for her as a person, as opposed to, Phoebe Cates' character's lifestyle. It's just fascinating. And then, of course, you have Spicoli, the surfer guy who, ends up being at odds with the Ray Walston teacher character, Mr. Hand. And it's just really fascinating stuff. And it goes to some funny places. It goes to some sad, dark places. And it really doesn't shy away from, the good and bad parts of high school and teenage life at that time. And I just think it's so well done. And this Blu-ray is very cool. It's a new 4K digital transfer supervised by Amy Heckerling. And I saw a few sort of vo- thoughts that maybe this transfer is like not looking great. Like there was one particular shot where Damone looked a little like the color palette had been drained a little bit or something. But I don't know. I'll be honest. In watching it this time, it felt good to me. I don't want to say the colors didn't pop, but it felt tonally right, if that makes sense. So you have this new transfer. It includes, they put back in a full frontal shot of Damone, which was initially, I think, cut from the theatrical release, was going to get them an X rating. And so that's in there. But then on top of that, one of the great features of this disc is it has the TV version of Fast Times, which is edited for content, but is 95 minutes. It's a little longer. It's got a ton of extra scenes. I want to say there's probably at least 10 to 12 different and or alternate scenes where we have a scene from the movie we remember, and it either has like an extra little something on it. Most of the extra scenes have to do with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Phoebe Cates' characters talking about their stuff, like what's going on with them and the men in their lives. And there's a few extra scenes with Brad and his friends. One of his friends is played, of course, by Nicolas Cage, so we get to see him a little bit more. There's a few more scenes with Spicoli and his friends, played by Eric Stoltz and Anthony Edwards. So that was really cool to be able to watch the movie and then watch this TV version and go, oh, here's another scene that I didn't know. And of course, all the language is edited, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, it's great you have this TV version you can show younger people, and it's a bit less R-rated if you want. So I just like that they included that. They have the audio commentary from 1999 featuring Amy Heckerling and screenwriter Cameron Crowe, which is always great. I've always been a fan of that track. That goes back to the original collector's edition DVD. They have a new conversation between Heckerling and Cameron Crowe, moderated by filmmaker Olivia Wilde, which is great. It's just a Zoom call format, but they're able to add some, old on-set pictures into this conversation that really liven it up a bit. And there's some really great stuff there. Olivia Wilde is a huge fan of the movie and talks about it as a big inspiration for her film Booksmart, and talks about showing the film to her cast before she started filming. And so there's a lot of reverence for what Amy and Cameron have done with this film. And they have a lot of great stories about the movie and things that they wanted to do that they couldn't do, and things that were troublesome for them during the process. And I want to say it's over 30 minutes, but it's a really nice little interview, and I dug that very much. There's also Reliving Our Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is a 1999 documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew. That also goes back to the original collector's edition DVD, but is great. And they talk to, I think, most of the cast and the filmmakers, and really solid documentary. So I'm glad they brought that over. And they've also added an audio discussion from 1982 with Amy Heckerling at the AFI, the American Film Institute, which is, like, I want to say close to an hour, and that's really great too. You're hearing Amy talking about, again, her process with the movie and things that went on filming the movie at the AFI in a, I don't want to say academic context, but in a, in a neat context that I enjoyed. And it was really great to hear that archival recording. So I very much enjoyed that as well. Let's see here. Then you have a new introduction by Cameron Crowe and an essay by film critic Dana Stevens. And that is in our booklet here, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool little booklet happening there. This is a Region A locked disc, if you're curious. But a really solid release. And I do love that, films like this are finding their way into the Criterion collection, because I think they're very important. And I think it's great to have them in there for those that have maybe written them off or seen them as just disposable, raunchy comedies. I think this is obviously more than that, for sure. And I like it when it's put into the collection and given a new credibility that it probably already has, to be honest. But I think for some, there may be people that have avoided this film for years, or remember seeing it one time and, weren't blown away by it for whatever reason. But it's a really great high school movie, and again, an incredible cast, and so well put together by Amy Heckerling, so well observed by Cameron Crowe in terms of the script, and I'm just a huge fan. So was very excited to get my hands on this. Highly, highly recommended for folks that like 80s movies, they like Criterion movies, they like good special features. This disc has all of the above. Check it out. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.